universal truth that we all must come to terms with. It's the foundation of all great achievements, the key to overcoming obstacles, and the answer to why some people rise to the top while others remain stuck in the same place year after year. This truth, simple yet profound, can change the course of your life forever. I want to talk to you today about Gilbert's Law. Now, it's not a law you'll find in a textbook or in some scientific journal, but it's a law nonetheless, one that governs the actions and outcomes of every single individual on this planet. And here's what it says: you will only achieve what you are willing to become responsible for. It's that simple, yet that powerful. You cannot achieve greatness, you cannot transform your life, you cannot build anything of lasting value unless you are willing to take responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your results. We live in a world full of distractions, full of temptations, full of the easy path that promises quick rewards and immediate satisfaction. But let me tell you something. True success, lasting success, is the result of an entirely different path. It's the path of responsibility. It's the path of consistent effort, of discipline, of doing what others won't do because they haven't yet embraced the law that governs everything we do. Success does not happen by accident. It happens when you take full responsibility for the circumstances in your life, whether they are good or bad, and then take the actions necessary to shape your future. It doesn't matter what your past looks like. It doesn't matter what obstacles you're facing right now. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. What matters is whether you are willing to accept full responsibility for what happens next. So often we get caught in the trap of blaming others. We blame our parents, our environment, our lack of education, our lack of resources. But what I'm here to tell you is that those things don't determine your future. You do. If you're waiting for the perfect circumstances, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect time to take action, let me save you some trouble. It will never come. You don't need perfect conditions. You need the courage to step forward and start taking responsibility right now. This is the critical moment where your life can begin to shift. It's a decision, a choice you make in this very moment. And that choice is what separates those who live their lives in mediocrity from those who go on to become the architects of their own destiny. Let's break this down. Let's talk about what this means in practical terms. To take responsibility for your life means you stop waiting for permission. It means you stop waiting for someone else to fix things for you. The truth is, no one else is coming to rescue you. The cavalry isn't on the way. It's time to stand up, take the reins, and take charge of your own destiny. Your future, your wealth, your health, and your happiness are all determined by the choices you make from this point forward. But here's the catch. Responsibility isn't always glamorous. It's not always easy. In fact, it's often difficult. It requires that you face the truth about yourself, and sometimes that truth isn't what you want to hear. You'll have to look yourself in the mirror and admit that you are the one who created the circumstances in your life. You are the one who made the choices. And you are the one who must now make different choices if you want a different life. That's a tough pill to swallow for many people. It's far easier to point the finger, to blame the economy, to blame other people, to blame your upbringing, to blame your boss, or to blame anything else you can think of. But none of that will help you as taking full ownership of your situation and then doing something about it. There's a famous saying: the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you're unhappy with where you are in life, but you keep doing the same things, you're not taking responsibility. You're not making the changes that are necessary for success. When you take responsibility, you start to ask yourself better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? You start asking, what can I do to change this situation? You stop being a victim and start being a creator. And the minute you start creating your own solutions, you begin to move towards success. You start by taking responsibility for your time. Time is the most precious commodity we have. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. How are you using your time? Are you spending it on things that are going to bring you closer to your goals, or are you wasting it on distractions, on things that don't matter in the long run? When you take responsibility for your time, you begin to make better decisions about how to use it. You stop allowing it to slip away in small, insignificant moments, and you start using it to invest in your future. You also take responsibility for your attitude. There is nothing more powerful than a positive mental attitude. But a positive mental attitude doesn't come from waiting for the world to be positive. It comes from taking responsibility for how you respond to everything that happens to you. Let's face it, life isn't always going to be fair. Bad things will happen, people will disappoint you, challenges will arise that seem insurmountable. But how you choose to respond in those moments will determine your success. You can choose to rise above your circumstances, or you can let them defeat you. And the key to making the right choice is taking responsibility for your thoughts and your action. Your attitude is your choice. And when you choose to maintain a positive, growth-oriented mindset, no obstacle is too great. You will develop the resilience needed to keep moving forward no matter what. Another area where responsibility plays a huge role is in your relationships. The people you surround yourself with play a major role in your success or failure. Are you surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to grow? Or are you spending time with people who hold you back, who complain about their problems but never do anything to solve them? Taking responsibility for your relationships means evaluating the people in your life and making choices that serve your growth. It means saying no to toxic people, even if they're family or close friends, and saying yes to those who are positive influences, who encourage you to strive for more. Ultimately, when you begin to embrace Gilbert's law, the law of personal responsibility, you will see a shift in every area of your life. You'll stop waiting for things to change, and you'll start making the changes that need to happen. You'll stop making excuses and start taking action. And with each step you take, you'll draw closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Now, I'm not saying it will be easy. I'm not promising that the road will always be smooth, but I am telling you that the more responsibility you take, the more control you'll have over your future. And with that control comes the power to create the life you desire. When you begin to believe in the power of your own responsibility, your life will transform in ways you can't yet imagine. It all starts with one simple decision, a decision to take responsibility for who you are, and where you want to go. That's the foundation of success. The question is, are you ready to step up and take it? Success is not a matter of luck or chance. It is the direct result of the choices you make and the actions you take. Every outcome in your life, whether positive or negative, can be traced back to decisions you've made either consciously or subconsciously. But here's the catch. You are the one in control of those decisions. You are the one who shapes your destiny. The moment you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life is the moment your path to success truly begins. The truth is that responsibility is the cornerstone of achievement. When you take responsibility for your life, you take back your power. You stop being a passive observer, waiting for something or someone else to change your situation. Instead, you actively shape your circumstances through the choices you make. Whether you're facing setbacks or enjoying victories, your response to each situation is what will determine your future. Taking responsibility means understanding that everything you experience, your success, your failures, your financial situation, your relationships, stems from your own actions and decisions. For instance, if you're unhappy with your job, you can no longer blame your boss or the company you work for. You have to ask yourself, what choices have I made that have led me to this point? Perhaps it's the decisions you've made regarding your career path, your willingness to grow, or how seriously you've taken your work. Maybe you've allowed complacency to take over. Regardless of the circumstances, you must own the fact that your life is a reflection of the choices you've made up until this point. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop giving away your power to external factors. You stop waiting for someone to fix things for you or for the perfect conditions to appear. Instead, you realize that you are the one who can change your situation through small, deliberate actions and by making smarter decisions moving forward. This realization is liberating. It shifts you from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging that even though you cannot always control the events that happen to you, you can always control how you respond. Bad things will happen, challenges will arise, and setbacks will test you. That's life. But how you respond to those challenges is what truly matters. If you react with blame or negativity, you give away your power. If you respond with determination and a commitment to find solutions, you remain in control of your future. This is the pivotal moment where you must accept the reality that your success or lack thereof is entirely within your grasp. If you want to achieve greatness, you must fully commit to the idea that you are the architect of your own life. No one else can do it for you. You are the one who must take responsibility for your actions, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. The sooner you embrace this idea, the sooner you will see the results of your efforts compound, leading you toward the success you desire. True personal growth begins when you stop looking outward for reasons why your life isn't where you want it to be. It begins when you shift your focus from the people, circumstances, or events that you blame for your current situation and instead turn the spotlight inward, blaming others, your past, or your environment for where you are today might feel good for a moment, but it does nothing to help you move forward. In fact, it only keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-pity and inaction. When you blame external factors for your circumstances, you essentially give away your power. You relinquish control over your own life, placing the responsibility for your situation on things you cannot change. The truth is, you can't change the past, and you can't control what others do. But you can control how you respond to life's challenges. You can control your choices, your attitude, and the actions you take each day. And it's within these choices and actions that true growth occurs. Blaming your past for your present keeps you trapped in a victim mentality. Everyone has faced hardships, obstacles, and difficult situations. Some of us may have faced more severe challenges than others, but the past does not define who we are or what we can become. What defines you is how you respond to those challenges. Do you use your past as a reason to stay stuck, or do you use it as fuel to drive you forward? The decision is yours. Your circumstances, too, are not as powerful as you might think. The idea that you are limited by where you were born, the family you grew up in, or the job you currently hold is an excuse, not the truth. While it's true that your environment and upbringing can influence your mindset and opportunities, they do not have to define your future. There are countless stories of people who have risen from difficult circumstances to achieve incredible success. Their secret is not that they had the perfect environment. They simply chose not to let their circumstances define them. The most empowering thing you can do is to take ownership of your life and recognize that you are the one who can change your situation. It's easy to point the finger at someone else when things go wrong. It's easy to blame your boss for not promoting you, your partner for not supporting you, or your past for holding you back, but that mindset is disempowering. When you choose to stop blaming others, you take back control over your future. You acknowledge that you are the one who determines what happens next, no matter what has happened in the past. Taking ownership of your current reality means accepting that your actions or lack thereof have brought you to this point. This isn't about guilt or self-criticism. It's about empowerment. When you own your situation, you take responsibility for creating a new reality. If you're not where you want to be, it's a sign that you have the power to make a change. You can't change the past, but you can change what happens next. And that's where the real opportunity lies. Growth happens when you stop complaining and start doing. It happens when you stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems and take the reins yourself. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for the world to give you permission to succeed. You stop waiting for the ideal moment, the ideal circumstances, or the ideal person to come into your life. You start taking small, actionable steps toward creating the life you desire. By letting go of blame, you free yourself from the chains that hold you back. You free yourself to grow, to learn, and to become the person you are capable of becoming. And once you stop blaming others, you'll find that you have more energy, more focus, and more determination to move forward. Because the truth is, the only person who can change your life is you. So, stop blaming the past, stop blaming others, and stop blaming your circumstances. Own your reality. Take responsibility for where you are, and more importantly, for where you're going. The moment you take full responsibility for your life is the moment true growth begins. You hold the key to your success, and it's time to unlock your potential. Success is not about waiting for the stars to align or for the perfect set of circumstances to fall into place. It's not about waiting for everything to be ideal or for the world to give you permission to take that first step. The power of action lies in the ability to move forward even when conditions aren't perfect, especially when they aren't perfect. Waiting for the perfect moment will only keep you stuck, trapped in a cycle of inaction and hesitation. If you want to achieve success, you must understand that action, not perfection, is the catalyst for progress. One of the biggest obstacles to success is the mindset that there's a right time to begin. It's a trap that so many people fall into. They wait for the ideal circumstances. A little more money, a better job, more knowledge, fewer distractions, or a time when they feel more ready. The problem with this approach is that it's based on an illusion. There is no perfect time. There will always be challenges, distractions, and obstacles. There will always be something that isn't quite right. And if you wait for everything to fall into place, you'll find yourself waiting forever. The reality is that success is built on actions, even when things are uncertain. It's about doing the hard things when they're not easy, pushing through discomfort and continuing to move forward even when you're unsure. There's a saying, the road to success is paved with imperfect action. And that's the truth. Perfection is an illusion and it can paralyze you. It's the person who takes the first step despite not having it all figured out who starts to build momentum. It's the person who does what others won't do, who shows up when others stay home, who takes risks when others are afraid to fail, that sets themselves apart. Action is what separates those who dream about success from those who actually achieve it. When you take action, you create results. Even small actions taken consistently over time compound into massive change. Success isn't about one giant leap forward. It's about taking small, deliberate steps day after day. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it, continuing even when you're discouraged, and pushing forward despite the fear of failure. One of the most powerful aspects of action is that it gives you feedback. When you take action, you start learning, you make mistakes, you adapt, and you improve. Action teaches you things that planning, thinking, and waiting never will. The more you act, the more you refine your approach and increase your chances of success. And guess what? Every time you take action, you build confidence. You begin to see that you can handle challenges, that you can adapt to changing circumstances, and that success isn't about having everything figured out from the start. It's about making adjustments along the way. The key is consistency. It's not about taking one big action and waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about committing to continuous action, even when you don't see immediate results. Consistency is what keeps you on track when the going gets tough. It's the daily grind, the continuous effort that adds up over time. Success doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen when you refuse to stop taking action. It's about building momentum one step at a time and staying committed to your goals regardless of the challenges you face. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for everything to be just right. If you want to succeed, you need to start taking action now. Don't let fear or uncertainty hold you back. Take the first step, even if it feels uncomfortable or risky. Keep moving forward, even if you don't have all the answers. And most importantly, stay consistent. It's through consistent, imperfect action that success is achieved. Remember, what sets successful people apart is their willingness to take action while others hesitate. The key to achieving your dreams is simple. Act now. Act in the face of uncertainty. Act even when it's hard. Act when others don't. And keep acting until success is yours. Time is the one resource in life that once gone can never be replaced. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how many connections you've made, or how many possessions you own. Time is the one thing that is finite and non-renewable. Every second that ticks away is a second you will never get back, and yet so many of us treat time as though we have an endless supply of it. We waste it, squander it, and let it slip through our fingers without considering the consequences. But here's the thing. How you use your time will directly impact the trajectory of your life. Time is a powerful tool, but only if you take responsibility for it. When you take control of your time, you take control of your future. Every choice you make about how to spend your time either brings you closer to your goals or pulls you further away from them. It's that simple. You either invest your time wisely or you waste it. There's no middle ground. Taking responsibility for your time means becoming intentional about how you spend each moment. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, responding to emails, attending meetings, running errands, or just dealing with the daily grind. But all of that is surface level activity. None of it moves you closer to the things that truly matter. When you take responsibility for your time, you recognize that time spent on anything that does not contribute to your personal growth, your goals, or your happiness is time lost. You must ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to my future, or is it just filling time? Every action you take, every decision you make either brings you closer to your dreams or drags you further from them. This doesn't mean that every moment must be spent in constant work or pursuit of success. It's also about how you invest your time in your health, relationships, and personal development. However, the key is that it should be a conscious choice, an intentional decision about how to use the time you have. When you take responsibility for your time, you start to see opportunities to make better use of it. Instead of letting hours pass in passive activities like mindlessly scrolling through social media or watching TV, you begin to focus on actions that will advance your goals. You prioritize activities that matter, whether that's working toward a career goal, building meaningful relationships, improving your health, or learning something new. One of the most powerful ways to take responsibility for your time is to plan ahead. This doesn't mean overscheduling yourself or creating a rigid, inflexible routine. It simply means taking the time to prioritize the important tasks and making sure they get done before the distractions of daily life take over. Time management is really about being intentional with your actions. It's about making sure that the things that align with your goals and values are given priority rather than letting the small, inconsequential tasks dictate your day. But it's not just about planning and scheduling. It's about discipline. It's about saying no to the things that don't serve you. It's about recognizing that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So if you say yes to activities that don't contribute to your goals, you're saying no to your dreams, your growth, and your future. When you take responsibility for your time, you learn to say no more often. You learn to say no to distractions, to procrastination, to anything that doesn't help you move forward. Taking responsibility for your time also means being present in the moment. It's not enough to just schedule your time wisely. You must also use that time effectively. Being present means focusing on the task at hand, eliminating distractions, and giving your full attention to whatever you're doing. It means not multitasking in a way that dilutes your effectiveness. When you give your full effort to each task, you make better use of your time and ultimately get more done. But here's the thing. Taking responsibility for your time is not just about productivity and work. It's also about self-care and ensuring that you make time for rest, relaxation, and enjoyment. After all, time isn't just for achieving goals and making progress. It's also for living a fulfilling, balanced life. Investing time in your well-being, spending quality moments with loved ones, and enjoying the present moment are just as important as any task on your to-do list. When you take responsibility for your time, you create a healthy balance between hard work and relaxation, between striving and enjoying life. At the end of the day, how you choose to spend your time shapes your future. It's the most valuable asset you have, and once you understand that, you'll begin to see every moment as an opportunity to move closer to the life you want. The decisions you make today about how you use your time will determine who you become tomorrow. So take responsibility for your time, guard it, use it wisely, and invest it in ways that align with your deepest goals and values. When you do, you'll see the results in every area of your life. Life is filled with challenges, obstacles, and unexpected turns, but what sets successful individuals apart from others is not the absence of difficulties, but how they choose to respond to them. The truth is, we cannot control every situation that comes our way, but we can control how we react to those situations. Your attitude, your mental outlook, and your perspective on life are all within your control, and they have the power to shape your experience and outcome. Taking responsibility for your attitude means recognizing that you have the ability to choose how you respond to life's challenges. It's easy to blame the circumstances, other people, or external factors when things don't go the way you want. It's easy to fall into negativity when things get tough, but that only keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. The real power lies in shifting your mindset and understanding that your attitude determines your reality. You may not be able to change what happens to you, but you can absolutely change how you view and react to those circumstances. A positive mental attitude is a choice, not a reaction to the world around you. It's not about pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the difficulties you may face. It's about making a conscious decision to approach each challenge with a sense of optimism, resilience, and hope. A positive attitude is rooted in the belief that no matter what happens, you have the ability to find solutions, learn from your experiences, and keep moving forward. It's about focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your mindset, and your actions, and not letting negative circumstances dictate your response. When you take responsibility for your attitude, you stop allowing external factors to determine how you feel or what you believe about yourself. It's about taking ownership of your thoughts and reactions and learning to see every situation as an opportunity for growth, no matter how difficult it may seem at first. Life is constantly throwing challenges our way, but every challenge holds the potential for learning, improvement, and self-discovery. Your attitude will dictate whether you see these challenges as setbacks or stepping stones toward greater success. It's important to recognize that a positive attitude doesn't mean always being cheerful or pretending that everything is going well. It means having the mental strength and emotional resilience to face difficulties head on with the belief that you can overcome them. It means choosing to see obstacles as opportunities to grow instead of as roadblocks that stop you in your tracks. It means refusing to let negativity and fear take control of your thoughts and instead choosing to focus on solutions, possibilities, and progress. One of the most powerful aspects of taking responsibility for your attitude is that it gives you control over your emotional state. When you recognize that your thoughts and reactions are under your control, you stop allowing the external world to dictate how you feel. You stop giving away your emotional power to other people or to situations. Whether you're dealing with a difficult colleague, facing a personal setback, or dealing with a global crisis, your ability to remain calm, focused, and positive is a direct reflection of how much responsibility you've taken for your attitude. A positive attitude doesn't mean, ignoring your emotions or suppressing negative feelings. It means acknowledging those feelings and choosing to move forward in a constructive way. If you're feeling frustrated or upset, you can choose to acknowledge those feelings without letting them control you. Instead of letting anger or frustration drive your actions, you can choose to respond with patience, understanding, and a focus on finding solutions. By taking responsibility for your attitude, you learn to master your emotions rather than letting them master you. Your attitude also has a profound impact on the people around you. People are naturally drawn to those who have a positive mindset because positivity is contagious. When you maintain a positive attitude, you inspire others to do the same. Your optimism, resilience, and ability to face challenges with grace and determination can have a ripple effect, motivating others to take responsibility for their own attitudes as well. In the workplace, in your relationships, and in all aspects of your life, a positive attitude creates an environment of collaboration, productivity, and growth. Taking responsibility for your attitude also means being aware of the stories you tell yourself. The way you perceive yourself and your life can either help you or hinder you. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that life is unfair, or that success is out of your reach, your attitude will reflect those beliefs. However, if you choose to believe that you are capable, that challenges are opportunities for growth, and that success is within your reach, your attitude will shift, and so will your action. At the core, taking responsibility for your attitude is about embracing the idea that your mindset is a powerful force that can shape your reality. No matter what's happening in the external world, you have the power to choose how you respond. Your attitude is the lens through which you see the world, and when you take responsibility for it, you begin to see opportunities, solutions, and possibilities that you might have missed before. Life is going to throw obstacles your way. It's inevitable. But how you choose to respond to those obstacles is entirely within your control. A positive attitude isn't about denying the difficulties you face. It's about choosing to approach them with strength, resilience, and the belief that you can overcome anything that comes your way. When you take responsibility for your attitude, you take ownership of your life. And that mindset will not only help you overcome challenges, but it will also propel you toward your greatest successes. The relationships you cultivate in life have a profound impact on your success and overall well-being. Whether you realize it or not, the people you surround yourself with shape your thoughts, influence your decisions, and contribute to the environment that either supports or hinders your growth. You are, to some extent, a reflection of the people you spend the most time with, so it is essential to take full responsibility for the relationships in your life. This means actively evaluating who you spend your time with and making conscious decisions about the people you allow into your world. The idea that you become like those you associate with is not just a cliche. It's rooted in truth. The energy, mindset, and habits of the people around you will seep into your own life. If you surround yourself with people who have a positive, growth-oriented mindset, it is likely that you will adopt a similar perspective. On the other hand, if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or pessimism, it becomes far more difficult to remain optimistic and focused on your goals. People influence your emotions, your confidence, and the way you perceive your capabilities. Taking responsibility for your relationships means being intentional about the company you keep. Not all relationships are equal, and not all people will support or contribute positively to your life. It's important to evaluate whether the people in your life are lifting you up or holding you back. Do your friends, family, and colleagues inspire you to be your best self, or do they reinforce limiting beliefs, doubts, and fears? Are they challenging you to grow and improve, or do they encourage complacency and comfort? Success is never a solitary journey. It's incredibly difficult to reach your full potential without support, encouragement, and challenge from others. But the key is to surround yourself with people who genuinely support your dreams and encourage your growth. These are the people who see your potential, believe in your abilities, and push you to go beyond what you thought was possible. They won't just tell you what you want to hear. They will challenge you when necessary, offer constructive feedback, and hold you accountable to your goals. When you take responsibility for your relationships, you begin to choose quality over quantity. Not every relationship is worth maintaining, and not every person deserves your time or energy. This doesn't mean you should cut people off without reason or abandon relationships that are meaningful, but it does mean you must recognize that not all relationships are mutually beneficial. If a relationship consistently drains you, discourages you, or prevents you from growing, it might be time to reevaluate its place in your life.